is Angel Avery, and I'm the senior rhetoric teacher here at Mount Bethel. We have our panel of judges today, Mr. Trent Jones, who is our Bible chair and ethics and apologetics teacher. We also have our judge number 1, Mrs. Hannah Kendrick, our judge number 2, and our judge number 3. Our next speaker will be speaking on improving water resource management in the United States. Welcome, Caroline Mayo.
Hello, do I start? Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for attending my speech. My name is Caroline Mayo, and today we will be discussing the importance of improving water resource management in the United States. 10 years ago, residents of Flint, Michigan turned on their faucets to find that their water had turned a foul, murky brown. The city had recently changed its municipal water source from Lake Huron to the Flint River, a process that was intended to cut costs. Yet the citizens of Flint paid their own price for the city's attempt to cut corners. Their water, intended for drinking and bathing, had been tainted with harmful levels of lead, chlorine, iron, and several other contaminants. As a result, many citizens reported falling physically ill or faced increased levels of depression, anxiety, and paranoia as psychological symptoms associated with poisoning from heavy metals. The effects still permeate into their lives today, with some citizens stating that elevated levels of lead had been detected in their blood years after the event. This crisis was almost entirely avoidable and had even been warned against by experts, yet greed and indolence had overtaken the need for public safety. Crises like these are not uncommon in the United States. Areas such as Jackson, Houston, Honolulu, Baltimore, Puerto Rico, and many arid regions of the West all faced disproportionate amounts of water disparities in their communities. An estimated 2 million Americans struggle with water disparities such as drought, contamination, and unavailability in their communities. And this crisis is tragically preventable by regulatory practices, as much of it is born from greed on the part of corporations and governments. Despite this, many associate America as one of the countries with the best, most sophisticated water resource management systems in the world. And it is indeed one of the countries with the highest percentage of available water. However, the issue there arises in the fact that water infrastructure failures, such as the one in Flint, plague much of America, with an estimated 250 to 300 breaks occurring in a single year. In some instances, water contamination is born from greed on the part of several entities, thus leading the crisis to being largely preventable with advocacy and regulatory practices. Water is the backbone of life, and without widespread access to clean, available water, many communities will face collapse. Therefore, it is vital that the United States improves water resource management in order to reduce the effect of waterborne illnesses on public health, prevent further deterioration of the vast North American ecosystem, and ensure that there is a sufficient supply of water available for practical, recreational, and economic purposes. The average American utilizes approximately 87 gallons of water a day for several tasks such as drinking, bathing, washes dishes, and clothes, tasks that we consider menial. However, the amount of water is exponential, as exemplified as of the 87 gallons that are used. For comparison, the average person in the UK utilizes only around 37 gallons. That means that the average American uses approximately double the amount compared to a country that themselves is considered relatively secure in their water availability. And America does not have access to a widespread, clean supply of water. In fact, the amount of water available is quickly dwindling, no thanks to the excessive, irresponsible use of the already diminishing resource. One of the threats that escalate the lack of water availability is widespread contamination. With the exponential increase of industrialization since the late 1700s, contamination has become one of the greatest threats to American environmental safety, especially America's water supply. The mass use of pesticides, improper waste disposal, and the increased use of non-decomposable materials such as single-use plastic have all perpetuated water contamination in the US. Storm runoff can often pick up harsh chemicals such as pesticides and herbicides, or carry trash from streets into our water sources, leading to many bodies of water in America being pools of toxic chemicals and floating debris that render them unable to be usable for purposes such as drinking. Furthermore, the conflict unfortunately primarily affects minority and low-income communities. Small agricultural-based communities, African American and Latino communities, Native reservations, and various communities that exist below the poverty line all face disproportionate amounts of contamination and unavailability in their communities. Water is the basic source of human life. It can take days or weeks, but any human being will inevitably face possibly lethal consequences if they cannot gain access to clean, usable water. Water should not be a